I forgot I like to color coordinate with the month that I do in that month, so I mean, there you go. Hello, my name is Montero, and thank you for joining me on my journey to watch every TV show and everything on the planet. That's not our usual intro, but we will roll with it. It's been, wow, at the time of this recording, it is July 12th. So I'm sorry, I am behind. It's been busy, I suppose. It's been busy personally. But we got no time to go over personal things. We got TV, we got movies to review. And speaking of TV, we are gonna start with the caught up, kept up, and finished of, I suppose, June. And starting with Abbott Elementary Season 2, episodes 11 through 22. Clearly, I've watched episodes 1 through, I think it's 1 through 14 up until the Valentine's, and I know it's the Valentine's episode because it's Season 2, episode 14 for Valentine's, and that's 2/14, February 14. I think they planned it that way. I hope they planned it that way. It's perfect, but anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here because Abbott Elementary is really good. I did finish all of my reactions to it. I was holding off for the longest time so that I can react and then edit them for YouTube, but I just don't have the time, and we have moved on. So what I did, I put all of my reactions to Abbott Elementary, the final ones, 15 through episodes, actually, I mean, they're all on Pay My Patreon, that's the point. All of my reactions to Abbott Elementary are made, and they are on Patreon, the full-length reactions, so you are gonna need your own copy of Abbott Elementary to watch these, so they do exist. I did keep my promise in a technicality, but you can watch the final episode on YouTube right now with me, full-length reaction once again, so you guys can kind of see how I do things over yonder. But I give this season a 9 out of 10. There were some episodes that are really good and some episodes that were like, you know, just pretty mid. And I think Abbott Elementary is that this new age sitcom for the modern era. I think this is this generation's The Office or Friends, or for some, How I Met Your Mother. This is this generation's newest, biggest sitcom that people are going to be talking. How we talk about Jim and Pam, Ross and Rachel, Ben and Leslie, this generation is going to be talking about Janine and Gregory for years to come. I think this series is going to last a very long time. I had a lot of fun reacting to it. Hope you had a lot of fun watching me react to it, and I hope you will have a lot of fun reacting to it on Patreon as well. Go check that link out. But I give it a 9 out of 10. Let's move on. Next is American Auto Season 2. Technically, I mean, when this series first came out in January, I did watch 2 episodes. I watched 2 episodes, and then my subscription ran out. But I now have Peacock again for a whole year. I got in on their summer deal, and I decided to finish American Auto. That was one of the first things I did this month, was finish American Auto. And finish American Auto we did, and oh my goodness, I will never forget. I will never forget just how mind blown I was with the finale of season 1. And again, they brought a really good finale. I think season 1's finale was a little bit better, but season 2, they brought it to the next level. I can't wait for season 3. I really hope they give it a full season order, just like they gave Superstore, but for their story, I suppose they don't need more episodes, but I would really like more episodes of this. 10 just doesn't seem like enough. It feels like a robbery. But this does get a 9 out of 10. Hopefully, this survives the writer's strike and we get a season 3. Next, the other 2. I saw a lot of people saying that this is one of their top comedies of this year, and I'm like, have you not seen American Auto? I think this season was only an 8.5 out of 10. Yes, they had a lot of good gags, a lot of very smart, clever humor, but I also think a lot of repeats with some of the characters. Some of the characters' arcs seem like they're just going in a circle, in a circle, in a circle, and I get that some characters do that, but it's been 3 seasons of this back and forth with 2 different characters, and it's almost the same exact thing, and I feel like they're kind of running out of things to do with this particular character, which I guess it's not really that much of a spoiler because I'm not saying what happens. It's Brooke. It's one of the main 2. I think they're running out of things to do with Brooke, but I really can't wait for season 4. I think season 4 is going to be nice. I think that they can muster out 2 more seasons if they're smart about it, and I think they will be. The other 2 is on HBO. Oh, sorry, it's on Max. So you go ahead and check those out. It is a really good show. Then I started Crime Scene Kitchen. Actually, I started Crime Scene Kitchen season 1 and season 2, so I finished all of season 1 and started season 2. I think it's really fun. I'm more of those type of reality game show. I'm a more of a reality game show type of guy. People are like, oh, reality TV, the Kardashians and, I don't know, Housewives and Hills. I'm not really into that type of reality. I mean, it's fine. I'll watch it with people, but I'm never gonna check it out myself. I like more house hunters, cleaning type of shows, baking shows, and game shows. And when it's baking and game shows, I'm there. Crimes in Kitchen is also hosted by Joel McHale, and if you don't know who Joel McHale is, then you've probably not seen Community, and if you have seen Community, you're welcome. Now you can put a face to a name. But yes, he plays Jeff Winger in Community, and he hosts the show, and he is so funny in the show, and this show itself is so gripping. It's so nice. I love baking, so this is baking and mystery put together. Great concept. I can't really rate it yet, but I do give it a 10. And then we have It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That debuted on the 10th, 1 whole month ago. Wow. It's, oh wow. It's always, there's a typo, that's embarrassing. At least my dyslexia caught it. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, season 16. Started out pretty well. I did like a rewatch of the first 4, and I had a really great time watching it the first time and the second time. And the most recent 2 episodes had me dying. They were really well done. It's unbelievable how much they visually grown up between season 15 and 16. It's insane, but it's fine. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is one of my favorite shows, if not my actual favorite show. I'm not really to admit it. But I will rewatch it anytime, and I will show every new person I meet, I will tell them, hey, you need to watch the show. So I guess it's my favorite show of all time. But season 16, solid start so far. And then we have The Wonder Years season 2. I loved The Wonder Years season 1, and so many people loved it so much that it went from a 12-order season to a full order season in mid TV network airing, in mid-airing. That's how good this is. And season 2 just came out, and it's just as good as season 1. The episodes are both touching and funny, and I can't wait to see where the season is gonna go from here. And if you guys are not watching it, you definitely should. And we're technically still in the caught up, kept up with section-ish. We are just now in the Disney Plus section of that. So on June 11th, I hope you guys were keeping, I guess you guys couldn't have kept up, it's fine. So on June 11th, I started watching Raven's Home season 6. I suddenly remembered that season 6 was a thing, and I love Raven's Home. It's my favorite Disney Channel TV show of all time right now. Wizards of Waverly Place will always be #1 in my heart, don't worry. But Raven's Home is a solid second. It is so freaking funny. I was really worried with season 5 when they had a new cast, but now the new cast stands up really well, and they stand up as their own. It's not necessarily a replacement, they're just their own new thing. So season 6 really did start out with a bang, and I was laughing every single episode. Neil continues to be my favorite character. He is so freaking funny. He carries the episode, but he carries it with everybody else. But everybody does a lot of the heavy lifting. The character who plays, the actress who plays Ivy, so freaking funny as well. Everyone brings their A game. These actors are here to have fun. They're not really here to have a paycheck. They're here because they want to be there. Then they're here to make you laugh. And make you laugh, they do. Seasons 1 through 4, they have one cast, and seasons 5 through 6, they have a slightly new cast. It is a little weird with the new cast, but it's acceptable. Like the way the story flows, it's acceptable. And they've had many episodes in which past characters have come back, and I suspect that we're gonna see more, and I cannot wait. And then we have Secret Invasion, started on June 21st. You can watch my reactions to those. We literally just watched episode 4, and all I can say is that if you've been keeping up with my Secret Invasion reactions, I haven't been liking it so far. But episode 4 was a lot better, so I think I might be right that it's just a rough start and it's gonna get better from here. I'm hoping, but I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt still. I was pretty negative with it because it's really insanely rough for the first 3 episodes, but that 4th episode, still wonky, but really better. They brought their A game for that episode. So, I can't wait to see how they conclude it. I'm hooked. They got me. They got me. That's all I'm saying is they got me, and I'm hooked, and I need to know. I need to know. I must know! And now we're getting into the summer 23 era. I think I named it something else. Oh no, no, no. This is a brand new era. Yes, hello. I don't know if I've introduced this yay or nay, but this is a brand new era from whatever was in the past. I don't remember. This is a new me. This is a new us. It's a new we. We started off this month with the chapter I call Summer Madness. And this is a chapter that we're going to be continuing on for quite a while. But on June 4th, we started The Mick. A lot of my close friends and a lot of people who know my type of humor were like, Ivan, you need to watch The Mick. I don't know why I gave The Mick such a low rating at a 9. I think it's a 9.5. The Mick is another FX show, and I am starting to find out that I pretty much like FX shows. It's unfortunate because FX shows, sometimes they're hit or miss with a lot of people. The Mick is really good. If I had known that Sophia Black-Dahlia was in this show, I would have watched it years ago. She's hilarious in The Mick. So is Kate Olsen. Kate Olsen is from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And a lot of people are just like, oh, she's basically Dee. No, she's not. No. This is where I think acting is a craft, is an art, because people like Caitlin Olsen and Glenn Howerton who are able to do the same type of characters but feel completely different and be completely different, still similar, but not at the same time. That's acting. So it was really cool to see her in this, Kate Olsen in this show, be somewhat similar, but still completely different. And I don't know, I love this show. It was nice. It was funny. It had heartwarming moments. Season 2 was a little weird, yeah, but I cannot believe that they decided to cancel the show and leave the show off at a giant cliffhanger. I must warn you, there's a giant cliffhanger at the end. But if you really want to laugh, to have a solid time laughing, and you're really into like that insane type of chaotic humor, then this is for you. There's blood humors, just to let you know. This show is just, it was right up my alley. I loved it. Made me laugh every single episode. I had very little complaints other than it was canceled too early. Then there's I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. I started that on the 8th and I finished that on the 10th. My friend was like, you need to watch this show immediately. And I saw that these were very short episodes and I finished it with, clearly within 2 days. By the way, I started a new job. That's the personal things that I couldn't remember that just happened. I started a new job, therefore it's been preventing me from watching so much or binging so much. So I have a whole list the other day. Look at this. I made a list starting here. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 streaming services with shows that I wish to watch. It's gonna take a couple of years, unfortunately. That's a small rant, but I'm just saying, I personally feel like I haven't watched a lot. And though there's a lot of shows, there's not that many episodes to those shows. And at the end of the year, we are going to go through and see all of those episode counts within the year. The time spent. It's going to be grotesque. Unhealthy. I bet it'll be worth it. There's technically 3 seasons with this show, but there's only 18 episodes. And they were like 17 minutes each. They were very short episodes because it's a sketch comedy show. And a lot of memes come from this. When I was watching this, I was like, that's from this? How have I not seen this show before now? I have no idea, but I love sketch comedy. I think there's like just a couple that I didn't really haha with, but for the most part, I had a really good time. It was a nice palate cleanser, I believe. Like, it was the thing that I needed to not necessarily commit to, but also commit to at the same time, but not feel like I was committing to anything. 'Twas that. And then I watched Grand Crew Season 2. I can't believe this just flew over my radar. Grand Crew Season 1 is so funny. I always tell people Grand Crew is the Black Friends. I only say that because it's a show about Black friends. But honestly, friendship that they have is something that everyone can relate to. You know, everybody can relate to ribbing with their best friend or whatever, but it's very nice to see a show that one takes place in a wine bar of all things, so that's nice and different, and a show that centers around a group of Black friends, and you know, I like that. This is the Grand Crew, and I think that's why, because you know, they got friends and they got the crew, the Grand Crew. The show is so freaking funny, so funny. I give that a 9.5 out of 10 as well. Season 2 also ended off with a cliffhanger that you're just like, what? So hopefully, I'm hoping for Season 3, and I'm also hoping for more. This needs more episodes indeed. And then we have Pete Davidson's Bupkis. I'm not gonna lie, it was just okay. It was alright. It was good. If it were like a project for school, I would give it a C+, which is why I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I don't think there's much to say about this show. A lot of shenanigans happens, kind of, but it is a passion project for Pete Davidson, and I really do like Pete Davidson, and he does a really good job in this. It's just the story is a little all over the place, but it is getting a season 2. Will I check it out? That is the question. I think I might if I have the time and if I feel like I won't get pushed back if I do check it out. Season 1 was good. It was alright, but there wasn't enough for me personally to draw me into season 2. It's basically just a fictionalized, over-exaggerated version of Pete Davidson's life, or his current life. It's something that a lot of adults, especially adult creatives, or even adults who are kind of like, or of the now, who we don't really know what we want to do, but we're doing life because we have to. It's about that. Then there is Transatlantic. I really did enjoy this one. The only problem is that when it comes to history, for some reason, it just doesn't grasp itself within my mind as easily as it should. And so I'm trying to like grasp and follow things, and they don't really do a very good job in explaining things. I think they're assuming that this is really for you history buffs who know your stuff. And if you don't really know your stuff, you are kind of gonna learn, but you're just kind of there for the feel. Like, this is a spy show. I really want to give it 9 out of 10, but just something inside me says 8.5 out of 10. Jillian Jacobs, also from Community, does a fantastic job in this. And this show, this is the problem. With Secret Invasion, I saw this show, which is a spy show set in the 1940s, 40s, 30s, 20s? I don't really remember. I think it's, I'm just gonna shut up before all history people like yell at me. But this is set way back then. They do have like these little gadgets, like there's like a lipstick camera that they use. It's so cool. It's so cool how and it all this really happened. All of this stuff happened and it was believable. But Secret Invasion, some things happen and it's not believable. I'll shut up about Secret Invasion. But this is a very good spy show. This is down to the music, down to the drama, the relationships with that they have, the character arcs. All of it is so good, so well. Just I couldn't follow it very well, and that was me. That's a personal problem. I think. But it is a solid show. If you like spy dramas with a touch of humor here and there, then this is for you. This is it. Transatlantic, solid. All I see is good, positive things about this show. You should check this out. I hope this. I don't know if this is gonna get an Emmy or not. I should check that out, but I hope it does. It's a good show, deserving of one. And then I saw The Resort on Peacock on June 19, and I finished it the next day. The Resort is a very interesting show. This stars Kristen Milioti and William Jackson Harper, and both of them are on top of their game. The way this show takes place both in the present and the past, and that's all I'm going to give you, is really clever and really well done. The mystery is great. It's really hard to explain the show because when I watch these shows, I dive in, not even watching a trailer, not even reading the synopses, because sometimes the synopses can reveal things. But the only thing I'll give you about the show, it was about a couple who have been married for a very long time, who are starting to feel some strain in their marriage, and they stumble upon a mystery at a resort. Things happen, and I'm hoping for season 2 because those things are not fully answered, but I want a season 2, but it's a self-contained story. But things happen at this resort, and that's all I can give you. And again, they wrapped it up, but they left it open for season 2, and I really do hope they pick this up. I don't think they will, because I think this came out like a year or two ago, but I really do hope they do. I hope. So go watch it. It's on Peacock. And then I saw Based on a True Story. Based on a True Story was pretty entertaining. If it was a project out of school and I was the professor, I would be giving it a C+. But unfortunately, there's just a couple things that still I still think about, which is like both good and bad, because it just makes me feel like, was that intended? What was the purpose of that? And I don't know. I think just the characters do certain things that they don't really think things through sometimes, and it's not quite believable. And sometimes the shenanigans can be just a little much. And some people love this show, and that's fine. That's on them. It's just, I think it tried to ride the coattails of that murder mystery podcast fame a little too much and a little too closely, and I think they got burned just slightly. It's fun. It's a very fun ride, and I totally would recommend it if you're one of those like, ooh, I want comedy, but I want a little drama and suspense and a little bit of blood here and there. This is it. This is it. This is gonna get your senses tingling, and if you're a little squeamish like I am, this is gonna get your anxiety juices going, but the good ones that make you be like, ooh, that was a rush. That was a little scary, but that was a rush. This show is good for that. This show is good for that little bite size. Oh, you know what? This is good to watch for Halloween, in the Halloween season. That's how I would describe the show. This is a good summer with your friends. If you're like, ooh, I want to watch something and Scream is not out, you could watch this. It's like a good pass the time, or you can watch it during Halloween as a pregame. This is a pregame for Halloween. Safe for those who don't like horror, because it is not horror. It's safe for those who don't like horror, but also it's a good pre-gamer for those who do like horror. That's how I'll describe this show. It's not horror at all. It's a very poor description. 7 out of 5, unfortunately. Kaylee Cuoco, you did really good, but the writing, it's just not that great. Then on June 24th, I started Akwafina is Nora from Queens, and I finished that 4 days later, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because it's so good. It is really funny. Oh my gosh, this show is so funny, and it kind of wrapped itself up nicely in season 3. However, I did hear that Akwafina is open to a season 4, but with all of the writer strike stuff happening right now, we'll see if that happens. But season 3 was not intended to be the end, so if you guys have seen this show and you're just like, it totally ended. No, but I really do hope she comes back in season 4 because this show is so funny. I relate to it a lot. And I loved Akwafina is Nora from Queens. As soon as in episode 1, she started smoking from that bong. Oh, I shouldn't say that, should I? As soon as Akwafina started eating that sandwich. If you know which sitcom that reference is from, I don't know, somehow let me know that you know. But as soon as she was eating that sandwich, man, I was like, this is the show. I'm ready. I'm ready. And it is so funny. It is so funny. Very relatable. Very fun. Such a great time. 9 out of 10. It reminded me of Broad City, and I was like, I am home. And then after that, I decided to watch American Born Chinese on June 29th. And I was actually trying to make this show last until the next day, but that's how good this show is. It's compelling. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. There's a lot of writing issues, as in storytelling, plot-wise, but I enjoyed this. It stars Michelle Yeoh, and I hear that they got most of the Chinese lore somewhat correct-ish, but I'm very curious if you were Chinese and you've seen the show, did they get it correct? Did they not? Should I be happy? Should I not be happy? I wanted season 2. They left season 1 off at a good cliffhanger. I honestly want a season 2 if I'm allowed to have one. But that one is on Disney Plus, so you could go watch it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It's so good. In the good attempts, no dice, I started Seinfeld. Yes, I only made it through 3 episodes. I couldn't do it. A lot of you guys are gonna be like, Ivan, what? Thing is, I think I've seen too many sitcoms in the sense that I've seen so many sitcoms past this one, the one that kind of helped build the modern sitcom. I think I've seen too many of its predecessors so that when I see this, I'm like, I don't see anything new. In fact, I just see a little bit of misogyny. And it made me feel a little uncomfortable. So I just turned it off. Didn't like it. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure you can get, if I get past that first season, I'm sure, or even skip the first 2 seasons, I'm sure, but I don't want to. I don't really ever, I don't think I've ever had a desire. And you know what? The people in which I've interacted, not all of them, just a majority of them in my lifetime, before my adulthood, and the people in college, and the people that I've interacted, and the people who are just like, Ivan, what? Seinfeld is good. All of those people are a certain type of people. And that's how we'll leave it. They all like the same things, and that's how we'll leave it. That's why I started watching Seinfeld, and I said, no thank you. And then I started watching Akwafina is Nora from Queens. But that brings us to the movies of June. I didn't watch nearly as much movies as last time, thankfully, I guess. But I meant to rewatch this before now. I saw Across the Spider-Verse the very first day, but it was so late at night that I did fall asleep just a little bit, but it was just enough for me to be like, I think I missed most of the movie. But I mean, I watched, it's such a long movie, but you know, I've seen I watched a majority of it because I was like in and out, and I'm sorry, go ahead, throw your spears. I deserve it. That one was on me. It was a long day, but I meant to go watch it again, and with TikTok and Instagram and everything, you kind of just get everything. And I've seen the things, and like the thing is, like I did get the points. I saw all of the bits that I needed to see to get the points of the story. I just really wish I have seen the journey and not just gotten the points. But it is a 9 out of 5 because I know it should be. But don't worry, I will watch it. I will watch it again. It's been busy. You know how many movies came out in June? Movies, shows. It's like everyone wanted to wait till summer to do their thing. It's like, well, hello, we had all of the first half of the year to release things comfortably. But no, y'all waited at the same time. And look, box office records are at an all-time low because no one wants to spend a lot of money at the movie theaters anymore. I don't know why I'm talking like a TV announcer. On June 3rd, I saw I Want You Back, a Charlie Kelly movie, because I wanted to see more Charlie Day. I give that an 8. It was all right. It's not like the best, but it's a nice like popcorn flick. And then on the 10th, I saw Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I made a review on this one, and I gave it a 9 out of 10, so you can go ahead and check that review right after you check this, or you can pause this and then go check that out. Either one, it's your choice, but I made a review. And then we saw Batman Returns. I saw Batman Returns to prepare myself for The Flash. I saw Batman Returns with my roommates, and the one thing we said was, wow, for a movie about Batman returning, there was very little Batman. And there was very little Batmaning and very little Batman actually doing Batman things. Batman really didn't do anything in that movie. I'm sorry, but go rewatch that movie and try to dispute me. He barely did anything. But it was a Tim Burton Batman movie, I suppose. I mean, it was fine. It was okay. I gave it an 8 because that's all I could give it. It was fine. It's just fine. I think it's silly where it needs to be and serious where it has to be. And that's a sign of a good movie. It's just very little Batman. The fact that the bat signal illuminates directly into the Wayne Manor, just it's everything. And then I saw the Friends reunion, and I actually saw this for work because we're putting some things together, like a round table documentary style type thing. So I kind of actually watched this one for the intent of analyzing how it is, and I kind of just got lost in it. It was so much fun. I think it would have been a little better produced, I suppose, maybe. I don't really know how, but you know, I just give it an 8. That's just where it is. But I think it was a little too fast. I think a lot of things like moved on a little too quickly, but it was touching to see the Friends reunion finally. I just haven't really had time to sit down and watch it. And then on the 18th, I saw The Flash. I do have a review for this one, and I'm gonna keep it at an 8.5. Part of me really wanted to bring it down to 7.5 because of those visual graphics are really bad. But the story is there. It's just unfortunate that this movie is a good movie hidden underneath the surface of just a lot of bad elements that unfortunately have compiled themselves just enough against this movie. And I fully understand and somewhat stand behind it. It's a difficult movie. There are people who will never watch this movie because they don't want to support Ezra Miller ever. That's fine. And there are some people who will support this movie because they support giving people second chances. That's also fine. You have to do what makes you feel comfortable. And honestly, I would have actually walked out of this movie because the VFX did make me that uncomfortable. For me, the special effects are just enough to give it just a really like massive, like, I get it. Like if you watch this movie and you're like, I'm done, I'm not gonna watch it because the VFX are so bad. I understand. It's shockingly bad. At times, it's not throughout, it's just at times. But again, it's enough that it sticks with you. It sticks with you and it kind of haunts me in my dreams. And then we capped off the month with Pixar's Elemental on June 27th. I wanted to do a review for this, but I didn't have any time, but this made me cry. I love this movie. I love this movie. I give it a 9 out of 10 for goodness sake. It's not the most perfect movie, but it is a solid movie. Definitely top 10 of my favorite movies of this year so far. It's about immigration and it's about love and comedy. You know, it's a rom-com and an immigration movie, and it is so very well done. The message is there. I saw a lot of people saying it has a ton of woke agenda does, but it does not. I understood what they were trying to say. I watched a movie about my family, and it was nice. Yes, visually, they could have done a lot more. They could have even done a lot more with the story, honestly. But the story wasn't about the world that was being built necessarily. It was more about the situation that the world had built. It's a little different when you start to think about it that way. But it does get a 9 out of 10. Peter Sohn, you still have me as a fan behind you. I enjoyed The Good Dinosaur for what it was. Still a little wonky, and I enjoyed this one. So, of course, The Good Dinosaur is not the best Pixar movie of all time. There's so many things I would have done completely different. Still, actually, very similar problems from The Good Dinosaur to this one, but this one is way better. Way better. 9 out of 10. Well, that was it. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen any of these. What is your rating? My social media links are in the description below, including the link to my Patreon and my website. And I will see you next time. You've just been Montified.